Today we're going to talk about those ribosomes and how they actually do protein synthesis or make proteins. What is our genetic code and how is it read? The genetic code is read 3 letters at a time, or 3 bases at a time. So each word in our genetic code corresponds to a single amino acid. As we talked in section 13.1, the first step in decoding our genetic message is to transcribe a nucleotide sequence from DNA to RNA, so to make an RNA sequence. And this information contains a code for making proteins. As you may recall, proteins are made by joining amino acids together into long chains. These long chains are called polypeptides. There are 20 different amino acids that are commonly found in proteins. So we have, if you recall the general structure of an amino acid, we have the amino group and the carboxyl group, and then here in the center is the R group, right? And each R group makes the amino acid different, and they're hooked together with what we call the peptide bond, hooks two together. The specific amino acids that are in a protein and the order in which they are joined determine the properties of the protein. So the sequence of amino acid influences the shape of the protein, which then determines its function. So if we change the order of the amino acids, we're going to change the shape and function of the final protein. RNA contains 4 different bases: adenine, cytosine, guanine, and uracil. And these four bases form a language or our code with just 4 letters: A, G, C, and U. Each 3-letter word in a messenger RNA is known as a codon. A codon is 3 consecutive bases that then specify what amino acid is to be added to the next chain on the protein. There are 4 different bases in the RNA, and that makes 64 possible 3-base codons. 4 times 4 times 4 makes 64. That's how probability works. So there are 64 possible codons, and to read this table, you start at the center. We look at A, and then the next codon is C, and the next codon might be A. So ACA is our codon that corresponds to the amino acid threonine. Most of our amino acids can be specified by more than one codon. For example, there are 6 different codons that correspond to the amino acid leucine, UUA and UUG, CUU and CUC and CAC specify leucine as well. But there's only one codon, UGG, that specifies tryptophan. So it really just depends on what amino acid you're looking for. The genetic code also has punctuation marks. The codon for methionine, or AUG, methionine, is the start codon for protein synthesis. So every protein starts with the codon AUG and the amino acid methionine. The mRNA gets read after the start codon 3 bases at a time, attaching amino acids until it reaches a stop codon, which then ends translation. So we have UAA and UAG, or UGA, which are the stop codons. So what do the ribosomes do in making proteins? Ribosomes read the sequence of codons in mRNA to then assemble the amino acids into polypeptide chains, which then end up making proteins. Remember, it is the sequence of bases in the mRNA molecule that are the instructions for what is the order of amino acids that are joined together to produce the polypeptide. And the forming of a protein requires the folding of one or more polypeptide chains. So once we make a polypeptide, then we can make the protein. The ribosomes use the sequence of codons in mRNA to then assemble those amino acids. This decoding of an mRNA message into a protein is known as translation. It's almost as if we are translating from one language, the mRNA, to another language, the protein. So what are the steps in translation? Well, step 1, the messenger RNA is transcribed in the nucleus, and then it leaves the nucleus and enters the cytoplasm. So translation begins when a ribosome attaches to the mRNA molecule in the cytoplasm. So here's the mRNA, and here this blue thing is the ribosome. As the ribosome reads each codon of mRNA, it directs a tRNA to bring its specific amino acid into the ribosome. So this is a tRNA with its attached amino acid. One at a time, the ribosome attaches each amino acid to the chain. Each one of the tRNA molecule carries just one kind of amino acid. Also, each tRNA has 3 unpaired bases, which are called the anticodon, and the anticodon is complementary to the mRNA codon. So here's our tRNA with its attached ribosome amino acid, and down at the bottom is its 3 unpaired bases called the anticodon, and it will match up with the codon on the 3 bases on the mRNA. So for example, if the tRNA has the anticodon UAC, that'll pair with the AUG codon on mRNA, A with U, U with A, G with C. The ribosome has a second binding site for a second tRNA molecule, and for example, if the next codon is UUC, a tRNA molecule, UUC here, a tRNA molecule with an anticodon of AAG, this one, will bring the amino acid according to that circular chart we looked at. That circular chart indicates the amino acid phenylalanine. So now we have 2 amino acids in our ribosome. The ribosome then helps form a peptide bond between the first and second amino acids. So our first and second amino acids, methionine and phenylalanine, are now bonded together with a peptide bond. The first tRNA molecule is released from the ribosome. The ribosome slides down the mRNA molecule and finds the third codon, and it reads that third codon, and a tRNA molecule that is appropriate slides in there, codon to anticodon. The chain of amino acids continues to grow until the ribosome reaches a stop codon on the mRNA molecule. When the ribosome reaches the stop codon, this chain of polypeptide chain is released, and that completes the process of translation. Ribosomes are made of about 80 different proteins and 3 to 4 RNA molecules. These RNA molecules help to hold the proteins in place and help to locate the beginning of the messenger RNA message that came from the DNA. These ribosomes and RNA molecules even carry out the chemical reactions that joins the amino acids together, those peptide bonds. What is the central dogma or main idea of molecular biology. The central dogma of molecular biology is that information goes from DNA, then to RNA, then to protein. So DNA to RNA to protein. The idea here is that most genes contain the instructions for assembling a protein. So the gene, the segment of DNA, is the instruction for assembling a protein. Remember that many proteins actually are enzymes which catalyze and regulate chemical reactions. For example, a gene that codes for an enzyme could cause the production of a pigment that controls a flower color. Another gene could produce proteins that regulate the patterns of tissue growth in a leaf. Another gene may control another protein enzyme that could trigger the male or female pattern of development in an embryo. Really, proteins are microscopic tools that each one is specifically designed to build or operate a component of a living cell. The term molecular biology refers to explaining living organisms and studying living organisms down at the molecular level using molecules like DNA and RNA. And the central dogma or main idea of molecular biology is that information goes from DNA to RNA to protein. The term gene expression refers to the way that DNA, RNA, and proteins act together to put genetic information into action in living cells. This is the way that DNA carries the information that specifies the traits of an organism. How do we put that DNA into action? The DNA code is transferred to the mRNA codons, and those mRNA codons then tell us what amino acids come together in a protein, and then those proteins in turn play the role in producing our traits. One of the most interesting things about molecular biology is the universal nature of the genetic code. Some organisms show slight variations in what amino acids are assigned to a codon, but in every organism, no matter what kind it is, from bacteria to trees to whales to humans, that code is always read 3 bases at a time in the same direction to produce amino acids hooked together to make proteins. Living organisms display a remarkable unity at the most basic level, the gene.